Taye Diggs is coming under fire for saying he doesn't want... Okay, get that out of your system. All right. He's coming under fire for saying he doesn't want his biracial son to be labeled black. The actor has a 6-year-old son with his ex-wife, Broadway star Idina Menzel. Diggs told the Griot that to call his son black would be disrespecting his white mother. And he fears that, quote, when they see he has a white mother, those who meet his son, they're going to wonder, oh, what's going on? Are you ashamed of your white side? I'm hearing, oh, please. Well, you know what? He says get over it. This is the way he feels about it. If the boy wants to identify as a young man and be a proud black man, that's fine. But he does have a white mother, and there's no reason he should disregard that. But there are a lot of angry people on Twitter who say that there's a lot of self-hate going on there.
Yeah, because, you know, the issue is we already have enough people, and I'm speaking as a black person, we have enough people that make black such a negative thing and always talking down about it. So when you say... It's nothing wrong with saying you're black, and he is part black, that child is. I think the bigger issue is teach him who he is as a person and don't worry about his color stuff.
But why make biracial a negative thing? Why is biracial?
Biracial isn't negative, and I think his mother's very active in his life. I don't think, and she's very famous. I don't think anyone's not going to know that he has a white mother or a black father. I mean, we're in a world right now where everything is all mixed up and together. You don't know who.
But he's giving people who are not famous saying it's okay, you know, if you're mixed, like
not
embrace,
to be ashamed of being
to embrace both of your white and black heritage. I think he's giving.
I don't think anybody. I have a lot of friends who are biracial, and I've never experienced anyone saying they hated their white side or hated their black side. I just don't see that. I think that's something that he's picking up, what Taye Diggs is picking up on his own.
See, I see that from the flip side, because my friend that grew up biracial always felt like she didn't identify with either side, and she felt kind of stuck in the middle. She was Mexican and African American, and for her, it was like she wasn't quite Mexican. She didn't look Mexican. She wasn't dark enough to be African American, she thought. And so she just felt alone. And so I think creating this and having other biracial children be able to identify with other biracial children is just creating a safe space for them to identify with their own community. I think it's a great thing. I think the more children can identify with people like them, I think it gives them more confidence.
And I remember the kids who were born to American soldiers in Vietnam, to Vietnamese mothers, they were ostracized because they were part white or black, whatever it was, and then part Vietnamese. So it was a terrible place to be.
We've had history here
embracing their biracial.
with the same thing when it came with the black, you know, 1/16 blood, and I think that's where it comes from. It's like also there's nothing wrong with being black or white or anything in between. If this son grows up, wants to be biracial, let him be whatever he wants to be.
Can I just give Taye Diggs his due? This is his response to the backlash on Instagram. He said, I'm a proud black man. I want my son to grow up to be a proud black man if he chooses. He has a mother who is white. He has every right to be just as proud of his mother's blood as well. Please wake up, people. It's not that deep. So that's the final statement. All right.
I like that.
All right. We got fired up this morning over a 3-day retreat held this past weekend by the University of Vermont. The free retreat was titled Examining White Privilege, a retreat for undergraduate students who self-identify as white, which is the majority of the students at the school. According to the description, the event was specifically for white students to engage in building a stronger and inclusive campus community, to look at white and what it means to have privilege and the relationship of privilege to oppression. Good thing, bad thing?
No, I think it's... when we talked about this morning, I said... And I don't know what people think. I'm the most inclusive person, meaning race, creed, color, religion, anything. What's wrong with being white and exploring your white roots? I don't understand. Like, we have Hispanic retreats, we have black retreats, we have Catholic retreats, we have Jewish retreats for students. I think the labeling of the title of the course is incorrect. I don't agree with how they title it. But what's wrong with going and exploring your heritage?
Because I think when you hear white, then there's going to be negative white supremacist.
That's what I think. You know, when we all asked today, when you check a box for a job application, I'm ashamed of checking the Caucasian white box.
You feel embarrassed?
I feel embarrassed.
Well, I think there should be...
Go ahead, baby.
No, I just think there should be more of these retreats, seriously, because I think white people don't understand what white privilege is.
And that's what the difference is.
They examine it. Because here's one example that my friend went through, and he just told me this week. When he was applying for jobs, he put his name, Tyson, he's a white guy, Tyson, at job applications. Never got a call. And someone suggested, why don't you just put Ty on there just to see? And he's like, that's stupid. Did it. All these phone calls started started coming in. And that's an example of white privilege.
Right, and I think we need to be clear, because when I first heard about this story, I was like, why did he throw white privilege? What is it, some kind of KKK rap? I didn't know what was going on. Now you understand that what they're talking about is, let's look at ourselves and how we affect diversity, and that it's not as bad as it sounds. But the reason why there are things, and because I know I went to a majority white school. It was only like 1 or 2 black students at the time, and we would get a lot of flack during Black History Month. Why is there Black History Month? And I said, because Black history really isn't taught or incorporated in America history, right? And you don't know that there's Black inventors that have done things and the things that we have contributed. So it's not about someone saying Hispanic heritage or Black history because we think Black or Hispanic is so amazing. It's like, we also contribute as well. Please acknowledge that, because it's mostly white history that's taught.
And you should acknowledge that every month, not one month out of the year.